Bienvenidos and welcome to another episode of Patroma Therapy. Today we're going to be discussing coffee. And as you can see on our cover shot, we have a really great original drawing by an artist friend of ours, Oscar Ramos Luna. And how are you today?
Well, I'm good. I'm good, thank you. I'm just relaxing, having tea. I mean, I love coffee, but not at this time of day. How are you anyway?
Oh, I'm great. I'm drinking actually some water in my Powell's City of Books coffee mug. So in the United States, a lot of people, when they travel, they will bring back a little souvenir for family or friends. They'll bring back T-shirts or they'll bring back coffee or coffee mug or a shot glass. So the coffee culture is quite alive and well in the United States before COVID. Now I'm not sure what's up lately, but I've got my coffee mug from Powell's bookstore in Portland, Oregon, and it has a little kitty cat jumping across it. And it is a great place to drink coffee. What cities have you had coffee in?
Boston. I think when I was there 20 years ago for the first time, I remember ordering black coffee in Starbucks and in Dunkin' Donuts, and they put a lot of sugar in it. I told them why. I mean, I ordered black, but I wasn't really picky on the quality of it. I just liked it for the general taste.
Well, I know once I was up in Manhattan for a 6 weeks visit, and I we were going through Little Italy, and I was so excited to go to some amazing coffee shops because in Manhattan they have fabulous coffee shops and pastry shops. And I love Italian coffee. I like Lavazza, I like Avocado. So I was so excited. And this friend that I was with kept saying, "Oh no, not there. Let's try for a different. No, 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 not there, not there." So like the whole day wore on. I was getting very frustrated. And I finally said to my friend, I'm not going to go 2 more blocks until I have some coffee. So we'd already passed all these fabulous Italian pastry and coffee shops in Little Italy in Manhattan. And guess where we got coffee? Dunkin' Donuts in a paper cup. I was about to like shoot myself.
Well, coffee is very much credited to Italy, although I'm sure Italy got it from somewhere else. What part of the world was drinking it first? Do you know that?
Okay, well, I know that coffee, I have lived in Turkey, and Turkey has a big coffee culture. It's like just like the Brits have their tea ceremonies in the afternoon, tea time. In Turkey, coffee is king. And one of the great things about coffee is that when a young woman gets married, she is gifted with her finjan set, which is her espresso cups and like silver spoons and like it's this whole gifting around coffee. And then when you drink the coffee with your friends, you take the coffee cup and you turn it upside down on a little small saucer and wait for the grounds or grinds to coffee grounds to dry, and it makes a little pattern in the little coffee cup. And then you read, somebody experienced in the group reads your future in the coffee grinds. So that's called fal bakmak. So bakmak means to look at, and fal means the future. So in Turkish culture, and even into 20th century, what century? Are we in the 20th century? Yeah, and even in the 20th century, there are ladies who will get together or families who will get together for coffee time. And actually, I am an experienced coffee grind reader.
Wow, I'm not the superstitious type, but that's entertaining to say the least. I know there are two types of coffee beans, Arabica and Robusta. Was your reading done on either of those?
Well, I'm just talking about the ceremony. I don't know. Like Turkey used to be part, well, like the whole Ottoman Empire. It was empire that covered lots and lots of land. So the coffee came from areas that were covered by the Ottoman Empire, just like in Britain, Great Britain. It was, had a great empire. And so the tea that came from Ceylon and some of these wonderful places are not actually British. They were colonial rule. Another interesting, there's other words for coffee. In the United States, some people call it a cup of Joe. I need a cup of Joe. And then sometimes people call it mud. In Dallas, there's a really cute coffee shop that has since closed, but it's called Mudsmith, and they have baristas who will make beautiful coffees for you. And there's a reading room you can go sit back in, and it's just like a total experience going to Mudsmith.
Couple of minutes ago you said something in the line of when you drink coffee with friends, and I thought, wouldn't that be cool if, like, isn't that cool when you enjoy yourself by preparing and brewing a single cup or several cups of coffee for your friends who come over? There is joy to be had in serving others, right? If there's friends or members of your family and they appreciate the good coffee. I also love the science side of making coffee.
Science? Is there a science?
Well, what I mean is that when you're brewing coffee for the friend or family members who comes over, you can always experiment with the brew time and water temperature and water quality and maybe a green consistency and I don't know, just especially if you have a French press, which I do, and I.
Well, it's interesting. I think in a lot of offices, people have had coffee machines, and I know that people give very expensive coffee. Single cup brewing, fabulous machines to people upon graduation. I mean, it's become this kind of like, state of the art, but there's so many different types of coffee. And I think that people do enjoy serving coffee to others and showing that they've put a little time in and they've made a pretty design or it's in a pretty cup. I'm surprised at how many different types of coffee there are. I mean, a cortado is espresso mixed with steamed milk, and that's supposed to reduce the acidity. So I don't like a lot of caffeine because I'm already kind of a hyper person. So I would like a cappuccino, I would like a cortado, but there are people that can just drink straight, espresso shots. Like I would have a heart attack if I did that.
Yeah, no, I mean, not if you mixed it with something delicious like root beer or lemon juice.
Oh, not lemon juice, but I like to mix it with whiskey. I like, in the fall and in the winter, I like to have coffee with a shot of Canadian Club whiskey or Maker's Mark whiskey or Bailey's Irish, cream. I like whiskey in coffee. Oh my gosh.
Do you believe in the concept of a soulmate? Because that makes you soulmate of mine. I've been adding like whiskey in the coffee like for ages, all right? Like I've always wanted to know if there is someone out there for me, but like a perfect match, well, I don't know. What I know is, unlike whiskey, the coffee is a drug and nobody seems to take it seriously.
Well, it does speed up your metabolism, but it is also a mind-altering experience. I just know that, like you said, there is some science to it. You wake up and then I love the whole, the smell of coffee, the sound of coffee, the texture of it, but like, one of the reasons I like Lavazza is because it doesn't have a bite. I don't like it. I don't like coffee with a bite on it. I don't like a lot of acidity. And I like just a tiny bit of cream and then, just put bourbon in it and I'm good. But see, I don't call that day drinking. We do have another episode on drinking. We've been talking a lot about drinking, about ice cream and and coffee affogato. That is an Italian word that means drowned. So you might take a cup or a little bowl and put a scoop of vanilla ice cream, pour a shot of espresso on it, and serve it with a spoon, and then maybe a little side glass of ice water. That's how they serve it in Vienna. I thought that I had completely arrived at the ultimate apex of civilization when I learned about how coffee was served in Vienna. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to be in heaven. What kind of coffee do you think there's going to be in heaven?
It is going to be black quality coffee with a couple of hamburgers.
Coffee and hamburgers? Huh.
That's right. Black coffee. No milk, no sugar. I mean, how can you like coffee if you put in shitload of flavorings? Whiskey excluded.
That's true. That's true. Now, I know that in um, Mexican and Hispanic culture, I was out in El Paso. I have spent time in San Antonio. Quite often, people from Mexico, even New Mexico, will have a hot mug of coffee along with their enchiladas. And it's usually just, it's, I don't know, black. My friend Leon, every time we go out to eat enchiladas or some kind of Mexican food with chilies in it, he just loves to get a mug of coffee. And I think many Americans associate coffee as breakfast, and then some are drinking more iced coffees. But in the Hispanic culture, coffee goes with like lunch, breakfast, afternoon, little pan dulce, a little sweet in the afternoon, a little pastry. So this thing about coffee and hamburgers, is that Russian or that's just your thing?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's just me. It's mine. My point is that it's all about health and logic. Don't you think it's a good idea? Because you get calories and you get caffeine and maybe a little bit whiskey in it too.
Gosh, I don't know. When I go get a hamburger, I want a chocolate malt or like a milkshake, or I want a root beer with ice cream in it. Yeah, we need more ice cream. It's still pretty hot in Texas. We're supposed to be up to 105 or 115 heat index. What's the weather like in Moscow these days?
Overcast, but bright. Yeah, does that even make sense? I think we have temperature-wise like 60 degrees here.
Wow, gosh. Hmm. Well, season one, we've had a really great season, and we appreciate our subscribers. Season two is going to be the fall, and then season three, winter, and then season four, spring. So, what other thoughts do you have about coffee as we wrap up, our coffee?
Yeah, I don't know. I think just the Irish coffee. It's better not to drink before noon. It's best not to. Yeah, for those who are inexperienced. Other than that, I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
Okay, sounds good. Adios.